Good evening, this is Kuro. Got a tier 10 game in my Khabarovsk, Khaba, as I prefer to call it, going over the matchmaking. Enemy Lexington, bunch of fat boats. Come on. Des Moines, Yoshino. Yoshino's a threat with its gun arcs. Smolensk, spammy, just HE threat. Um, Everything else is just kind of torpedo threat. Friesland can be an issue with its gun DPM. Um, but in general, I'm not looking to pick direct fights with DDs where I'm pushing in there and spotting destroyers. That's not really how a lot of the gunboats play. You're more looking to have something else spot those destroyers for you. Well, you work on the support for that enemy DD. If that DD loses his support, it doesn't matter how hard he holds. If he doesn't run, he's just a dead man walking. So this game was a really good game to walk you through, kind of opening up the map, or at least your flank, and that's what I'm gonna do here. I'm pushing up, and I mean you can see Khaba's concealment circle. A lot of people right now are talking how Khaba's overshadowed by Kleber, and I gotta say it's is I don't believe it's as serious as what people are saying. Are there some quality of life things Khaba could have with CVs in the mix? Yeah, it could use a 14-kilometer gun range. Um, Honestly, restore its rudder shift. Let it actually be able to dodge some CVs strikes. Now here, just pushing in. I did get spotted by the DD. I think he's somewhere over here. Just opening up on the North Carolina. I want to get, that's what I'm looking for, get a fire on the North Carolina. Gonna switch targets over to the Buffalo. Now this build, I've changed things up a bit. I'm running IFHE on the build, and that's why. Um, I haven't really been happy with with how these ships influence battles, how long it takes, fires to impact the game. And so I've been switching things up. I've been trying more IFHE builds because a lot of these guns on destroyers uh, get really, really nasty when it comes to um, dealing damage on cruisers once they've got IFHE on them. Just dodging some torpedoes here real quick. Now, this position here, I'm just, this is a holding distance. Uh, these guys are going to struggle to hit me at this distance. I'm able to speed juke. I've got my, you can see what I'm doing right here. I'm just being a pain in the butt to shoot right now. And distance management is one of the biggest issues I see with gunboat players. They just keep pushing and pushing and pushing until they get just too caught out. Here, these are the types of DD fights you're looking for. DD gets spotted, I'm gonna jump in there and help. Now this DD is crossfired because I've managed to push this Buffalo and this North Carolina up out of here. So that Shima, it's just a death sentence. I think that was Friesland's Hydro that was spotting him. Now that the DD's out of here, I just want to keep opening up this flank. And what I'm doing, this North Carolina, you look on the mini map, he's the thing holding me up from having this entire side of the map. So I'm going to put some pressure on him and just keep working on this guy. And you notice I'm staying, 12 kilometers. I am going to move in here a bit. There is, I believe, a shimmer around torping me. But the shimmer, he's wasting his torpedoes. These are 20-kilometer torps. They're spotted so far away that he has very little chance to actually hit me. So here, just again, herding this North Carolina away from where I want him to be. And just gonna pause it right here and it just give you the rundown. As I came up here, my intent was to open up this flank. The idea being exactly what happened. Any DD that gets caught in this cap by hydro, radar, whatever, direct DD spotting, they get crossfired by my team here, by myself here, and it's pretty much a death sentence. Um, Now what's going on here? I see that I've got, this Des Moines, he's starting to get, you know, in a bad position. He's kind of stuck in here. There's a Kurfürst, a Smolensk, a Worcester all can shoot him. I'm expecting this guy to be under a lot of pressure. And what you're going to see, you're just going to see me rotate my target from this guy that I'm just trying to clear out the flank for my team. Just going to switch targets to the Des Moines. I'm looking, I see him right there. And all I'm going to do is move to where I can get a field of fire on the Des Moines. And I still want to be at a distance that if this Des Moines shifts targets on me, that he's not going to be able to really punish me with his DPM. I'm looking right now. I'm getting ready to line things up. I'd really like one more fire on that North Carolina. There it is. And here we go. Oh, nope. There we go. I wanted to get angled at the North Carolina, so I'm presenting as small a target as possible, because I'm not really going to be able to look at him while I'm doing this. So if you see, look what I'm doing with my speed. I'm speed juking this North Carolina. This guy, he's running for his life right now. He's had such a miserable time trying to shoot me. It's just not working. And take a look at what IFHE does with this Des Moines. This Des Moines, I'd be shattering all over the place without IFHE. Instead, constant pins, and, eventually he goes down. North Carolina switched to HE. Honestly, that's a mistake. Khaba does eat battleship full pins, but you're offset by, you do have armor where you can potentially bounce that AP, and you can also shatter cruiser, a lot of cruiser HE, and that's where this IFHE build comes in, because Khaba is actually pretty tanky when it comes to a lot of cruisers shooting at it compared to, for example, a Kleber. And here, you can look, this is already starting to really be a stomp. I'm just opening up on the North Carolina. You can look, I'm getting a little more aggressive, 10 kilometers. Honestly, I could use AP here. I have changed my build up a little bit on Khaba. Added the AA guns too back on the ship. And that was just a result of looking at the ship in general when it came to its flak. Its long-range aura gets 100% hit rate. It's got decent DPM. Now, here we go. We got a Buffalo rushing me. I've got an unrepairable fire on the North Carolina. He's going to go down. There he goes. There's my arsonist. And, another U.S. cruiser. Without IFHE, unless I was hitting the superstructure, it'd be shatters all over the place. Here, I'm going to gun this guy down. Not just because he's low HP, but it's a U.S. cruiser. This guy does not have the shell velocity to really land hits on me consistently at 10 kilometers. And the hits he does do, if they happen to hit my 50 millimeter plate, it's just going to shatter. Excuse me, apparently I played this game with a hot mic. Oh fuck, that's charming. And that's what I get. Whiskey burp, sitting here drinking whiskey with the dinosaurs and the wife in bed. So, this has been the first lull in the battle, and the reason why it's a lull is I was getting pushed by the buffalo. I had to take a little bit of time to uh, get that buffalo out of the way without taking significant damage. So far I've had really good positioning this game where my guns constantly have been going. That last shot should have been HE. I could have been a little quicker on it. That's a misplay. But just gonna keep working on this CV here. There we go. Starting to get some hole shots there. Now, don't be shy about these Russian guns. 130. What are these? 130. Yeah, 130 millimeters. These guns are nasty when it comes to AP. I mean, take a look at this volley. I mean, that's just delicious. And, I mean, you can do that at extended range with these guns. I mean, here's AP, Smolensk, almost 13 kilometers away. High as I'm aiming, I could probably overpin. Yep, there's an overpin. That should tell you the penetration these guns have. Now, Smolensk does have really thin armor, but it's still something that you need to really watch. Got Yoshino coming in, CV's trying to hit me. Lots of stuff going on at once. Honestly, just really ignoring the CVs, just trying to get damage out right now. CV gets a good drop in there because he came up from my stern. But every time he circles out, he loses a lot of planes in my flak. And that's why I switched to AA guns too. I'm just relying on, my HP pool, and if I'm out there alone, that CV is going to keep trying to circle around to attack me. Well, when he does that circle around, instead of having 3 flat clouds out there, I think it's 3, he's actually I'll take a look at it right now. Pull that off. Sorry, you guys can't see this at the moment. The far aura. Okay, goes from 3+1 for flat clouds to 5+1. So you're getting an additional 2 flat clouds that this CV has to deal with. And when he's doing that loop out there to come back and hit you, that aura extends all the way out to 6 kilometers. So you've got a pretty sizable reach with your flak that from 3.5 to actually, wow, the way they wrote this up, it's 0.1 kilometer to 6 kilometers. I'm going to have to run some training room tests to see if you get flak all the way up to the edge of your ship, because that would be an interesting way to deal with some of the CV stuff. I just noticed that right now. Usually it's layered, where the far aura comes up to your medium aura, and from there the medium aura goes to your near aura, and the near aura basically terminates at 0.1 kilometers right above your ship. But for some reason, Khaba, it doesn't appear that way on the WoW's fitting room. So I got some testing to do with that to figure out if that's going to be what it is or not. So anyway, this game, I really love this game as far as the positioning. This isn't a barn burner of a game, but it had really good positioning. Just as you saw how patiently I opened up the flank and then slowly just started chasing the ships that were fleeing from me. Khaba is fast as hell. You don't need all that speed, and just about the closest I got to the my primary targets was about 10 kilometers, and that's plenty close enough for my guns, and it's far enough away that I'm going to take minimal damage uh, in exchange. And that really is the key to playing these gunboats. Distance management, you want to get the enemy turned around, kind of demoralize them. Where, I mean, how many shots did that North Carolina waste? I mean, that guy had a horrible game just because almost every reload he used on me, and he did next to nothing to me. Um, so this was a lot of stuff, just general gunboating 101, along with playing with a ship that a lot of people are talking down right now because Kleber is in the limelight. It's the new kid on the block, and the reality is, anytime you've got a new ship, it looks really good because the vast majority of the players that have it right out of the gate are the super unicoms, and they can make a turd look good. Not to say that Kleber is a turd; it's a very solid destroyer. Even back when I was testing, I couldn't really say much, but um, I remember a lot of people talking how useless the French DDs were going to be with not having smoke, that kind of thing. And, I couldn't really say much other than I think you're wrong, but couldn't really back it up with my experiences testing this stuff. And, as I say with Khaba, you've got, different things going for you that Kleber does not. As soon as people figure out how to lead Kleber, you're going to see the effectiveness really start to taper off. Uh, and I've shown plenty of videos how any destroyer can just work over the French DDs, and that's really what needs to happen. Is the cruiser players, the battleship players, they're going to have a hard time dealing with that. What needs to happen? The destroyer players need to bait those guys in, let an ally spot them, and then smoke up at 6 kilometers and just hammer those guys as hard as you can, as fast as you can, until those guys drop off. And you, all it takes is just once doing that, and you've really ruined uh, the potential for that DD to have a really good game. It doesn't have things like Khaba and the Russian DD line where it's got the armor to shatter HE. It has a repair party uh, where it disengages for 2-3 minutes and it comes back with 5-6k more HP than the last time it started. Even more if you've got Superintendent on the build. I've been talking forever right here, but just wanted to relay some of the stuff that uh, I've heard and read in the forums about the Khaba Kleber relationship and how lopsided it is right now. I do think the ships have things going for them in either direction, and you know I think a wise player would learn how to play those ships to their advantage, and you just make them work for you. So anyway, I'm going to cut this video off. Hope you guys are having a good night, and I will talk to you later. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Have a good night.